Corruption is a canker worm that has eaten deep into the fabrics of our society. Many people have defined the word corruption in different ways. On The Eagle today, we shall be taking a look at the real meaning of the word corruption and its negative effect on the society. My name is Aisha Gambari, and with me on the program is Aisha Mohammed.
Hi Aisha. Hello, and thank you for joining us on this week's edition of the program.
Corruption is dishonesty and illegal behavior by people in positions of trust. A public office is a public trust. Do not abuse positions of trust for private gains. Stay away from corruption. Nigeria is a great nation, and it is our responsibility to make the country greater. If you notice any act of corruption, please report to the EFCC via info@efccnigeria.org or call 09 904 4751 or 09 904 4752. You can also call 09 904 4753. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
The World Bank has defined corruption as the abuse of public office for private gains. Public office is abuse for private gains when an official accepts, edicts, or extorts a bribe. It is also abuse when private agents actively offer bribes to circumvent public policies and processes for competitive advantage and profit. Our reporters went on the streets of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, to find out what Nigerians really understand by the term corruption. The report.
Corruption is a term whose real meaning covers a wide range of misguided and illegal conduct stemming from misuse of entrusted funds and power for private gain. It may also include theft, fraud, nepotism, abuse of power, or illegal conversion of state properties. In many countries of the world, especially in the developing countries, the menace of corruption is evident everywhere. Many people perpetrate the crime and try to cover up, or better still, escape being called to justice. In Nigeria, corruption has left a devastating effect on every sphere of the country's economic, political, and social system. Differentiating between acts that connote corruption has been a topic of discussion in many fora. We try to ask some Nigerians what really they understand by the word corruption.
You can imagine a father who gave birth to, who pregnanted a woman is corrupt. The semen of that corruption is what that father took to the child. And the money they use in doing the covenant naming is a stolen money, so corruption starts from there. The money they use in paying the child school fees is corrupted money, because most of this corruption, so it's already an inbuilt thing in the Nigerian child, except God come himself to help Nigeria. Nigeria is already in disarray. Corruption is not something of today. It has become part of blood syndrome.
Corruption is any act or activity outside due process.
Illegally diverting what is meant for the public for your own personal use.
Understanding of corruption is one eating up what belongs to others, and you are just taking it home alone. I think, for my own understanding, something that is meant for everybody, but one person come and just take it, or something assigned for something, and instead of using that money to do that thing, you divert it to your private pocket.
Doing what you're not supposed to do just to benefit yourself, that's corruption. Corruption, I think, it's when one mismanages a particular thing that is given for him to manage. When it is being mismanaged, I call it corruption.
Corruption, to my own understanding, corruption is when someone divert or make use of what is meant for the public, or in that environment that is meant for everybody that's supposed to benefit. Then one person now kind of divert it to his own personal use.
The impact of corruption on developing countries cannot be overemphasized. In a system with corruption, there is no quality of life for services. To gain access to those items that make life comfortable to live means you have to pay for them. This is seen not only in the rural areas, but also in major cities in the urban centers where poor infrastructures have since decayed. Corruption in developing countries like Africa also continues to be one of the greatest factors of poverty and underdevelopment, even as the continent is endowed with prized natural resources. Some respondents speak about these devastating effects of corruption on the society.
It does affect most people here in Nigeria. One, the road. The road is supposed to be, the infrastructure. They're supposed to be in perfect condition. But because one leader somewhere squanders all the money, it can't be done. Thereby, we are all affected. I'm affected. Many other people are really.
Apart from the government and anti-graft agencies' effort at eradicating corruption, the citizens also have a role to play. Some respondents also speak on how the scourge can be totally eradicated.
The citizens that had allowed this corruption to thrive, that this issue that initially the problem of this country has had to do with leadership, which so many political philosophers, like the late Chinua Achebe, also said it, that the problem about this country is all about leadership. But at the time, personally, I was working and found access to an information that was telling me that it's all about followership. It's all about active citizenship. It's all about educated citizenship. So by the time the citizens are active, by the time we are alive, I think the issue of corruption will not be a major issue. Even if actually it's a global phenomenon, it's not only in this country, it's happening everywhere. But what we are praying is that at least need to reduce to its barest minimum. You cannot enforce favoritism or nepotism and other things, but let it be at its minimum, barest minimum.
Actually, a school is the greatest and the most formidable entrance into the society. A school, anything, any idea institutionalized in a school can go a long way to right the wrongs in the society. So if corruption is made part and parcel of the school curriculum, it will be a welcome idea, because teachers in schools have the ability, they create the society. Every individual that enters into the society through school pass through teachers. So if this is made as part of the curriculum of schools, it will be a welcome idea, and the implementation of it will not cost government anything.
Let the system be fair. Let the system be just. Let the system celebrate hard working, integrity, probity, honesty. Then and only then we can, tackle corruption headlong.
For the general society, there should be massive awareness campaign about it, because some people that are indulged in corruption and corrupt practices may not even know that what they are doing is injurious to their own persons and the society as a whole. So the government should, through the arms already in place, bring out campaign that will sensitize people on the need to stay away from corrupt practices.
I totally support the call for a total war against corruption. You might be wondering how you can be part of the fight. First of all, you have to shun corruption. Be a whistleblower. Report any form of corruption going around you that you've seen or heard to the anti-graft agencies. To do that, just send your information to the Eagle at efccnigeria.org or info@efccnigeria.org. You can also send an anonymous petition including details of what you've seen in a sealed envelope addressed to the Chairman, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, number 5 Formella Street off Adetokunbo Ademola Crescent, Wuse to Abuja, or just inbox us via our social media portals at official EFCC.
Next on the program, a survey conducted by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, indicates that as far as Nigerians are concerned, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, remains the most effective government agency in the country. The report of the survey, which was published in the UNODC's July 2017 publication titled Corruption in Nigeria, Bribery, Public Experience and Response, was based on data collated in a survey of 33,067 households on corruption conducted in all 36 states and the FCT. Rolake Odofin Jolayemi has more on this.
The report, which formed part of the Support to Anti-Corruption in Nigeria project, was sponsored by the European Union, EU, and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, in partnership with stakeholders of the project. The project, which launched the Household Survey Report on Corruption in Nigeria, was rounded off with a stakeholders meeting held at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, on August 16, 2017. The anti-graft agency was ranked among sister anti-graft and law enforcement agencies, including the Nigeria Police, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, the Code of Conduct Bureau, the Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit, the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, the Public Complaints Commission, Federal High Court, Federal Ministry of Justice, Bureau of Public Procurement, Special Control Unit Against Money Laundering, and Technical Unit on Government and Anti-Corruption Reforms. The report stated that the EFCC received the highest perception of effectiveness rating at 78.3%, an indication that more than 25,000 of the households surveyed believed that the EFCC was effective in the discharge of its mandate. At the stakeholders meeting, Christina Albertine, UNODC's country representative in Nigeria, acknowledged the efforts of the partners and stakeholders in the collective journey undertaken to end corruption in Nigeria. While commending the 14 anti-corruption agencies, 10 civil society organizations, and the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, for their dedicated efforts, commitment, and collaboration, Albertine said the UNODC will continue to be a staunch ally to Nigeria in its efforts to erase corrupt practices, bring offenders to justice, recover stolen assets, and educate and sensitize the people on the need for fair, accountable, and transparent systems.
The collective journey undertaken by our Nigerian partners, the European Union and UNODC, under the Support to Anti-Corruption in Nigeria project for the last 5 years is coming to an end in very few days. While the project comes to an end, our joint commitment and work cannot come to an end, and will not. It will continue building on the strength of the partnership created and constructed over the years. I would like to assure all here that UNODC will continue to be a staunch ally to Nigeria in its efforts to erase corrupt practices, bring offenders to justice, recover stolen assets, and educate and sensitize the people on the need for fair, accountable, and transparent systems.
Ibrahim Magu, acting EFCC chairman, who was represented by the Director of Operations, Mohammed Umar, expressed his gratitude to the EU and UNODC for being a reliable and committed partner in the global fight against corruption and their unrelenting effort and interest in the joint anti-corruption work in Nigeria.
The Support of Anti-Corruption in Nigeria project, which started in 2012, has immensely benefited the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, which saw the further training of about 150 of its officers in the areas of investigation, prosecution, procurement fraud detection, asset forfeiture, and corruption prevention. The Commission also received support in the form of e-library hardware, the software, Sentinel analyzer tools, financial crimes software, UNCAC review meeting sponsorship, and legal publications. For all these variety of crucial support received over the years, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission remain grateful and hopeful that a new cycle of our European Union support program will be launched immediately.
Also speaking, the head of cooperation of the European Union, EU, Cornelis Kurt, said the EU's commitment and support to the anti-corruption war in Nigeria will not end with the closure of the concluded projects.
Inter-agency cooperation has also been enhanced through the working groups established and supported by the project. And it's our sincere hope that the level of cooperation that currently exists will be further enhanced. At this juncture, I would also like to take the opportunity to inform all stakeholders here present that the EU's involvement in the anti-corruption struggle will not end here.
Other speakers who gave goodwill messages at the event applauded the project and expressed appreciation for the UNODC and EU intervention support.
The support to anti-corruption in Nigeria has greatly deepened the technical and intellectual components of the anti-corruption crusade in Nigeria, and we are grateful. ICPC would like to again acknowledge the professionalism and the commitment of the implementing staff and the agencies on both sides, the UNODC and the MDAs that actually implemented the project. We equally want to appreciate the various segments of the project that we as an institution have actually benefited from.
I want to commend the country representative of UNODC, Christina Albertin, and her team for the support accorded the Public Complaints Commission through its programs, which have impacted positively on the discharge of the Commission's mandates in the area of corruption prevention. My commendation also goes to the European Union, which has maintained a consistent level of funding to the development partner UNODC in bringing this series of projects and ensuring the inclusion of Public Complaints Commission over time.
Highlights of the event was an exhibition by various anti-corruption agencies, including the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, Nigeria Extractive Industry Transparency Initiative, NATI, Code of Conduct Bureau, CCB, Code of Conduct Tribunal, CCT, and the Bureau of Public Procurement, BPP, amongst others. Rolake Odofinjolaimi, reporting for the Eagle.
Imagine a society where everything works. Durable road networks, stable electricity supply, portable water, well-equipped and functional healthcare facilities, quality education for all, affordable housing schemes, social security benefits, job creation, and a lot more that makes life comfortable to live. That is an ideal society. We can only achieve these if we all play our part. Say no to corruption to enjoy these benefits. Kill corruption to save Nigeria. This message is from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
The program is still the Eagle, coming to you from the EFCC. In another development, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has pledged its support to the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, in its drive to recover toxic assets and boost the nation's economy. Again, Rolake Odofinjolaimi is our guide.
The acting chairman of the commission, Ibrahim Magu, delivered the pledge while playing host to Ahmed Lawan Kuru, Managing Director, Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, and his team in his office. Magu said, "It is in the interest of this country that we support you and work with AMCON." He blamed the incidence of bad loans, especially in the banking sector, on insider dealings, adding that it is about time bankers are held liable for their indiscretion. He expressed the Commission's willingness to strengthen the team already working on AMCON-related cases. In his remarks, Kuru informed the Commission of how over 3 trillion naira of depositors' funds and 15,000 jobs were saved due to AMCON's intervention in the banking sector in 2009 and 2010. He said the corporation borrowed money from the financial system and bought 13,000 non-performing loans at the cost of over 3 trillion naira from 22 banks and also injected over 2 trillion naira as financial accommodation to 10 banks in order to bring stability and avoid systematic failure. He, however, listed some of the challenges hampering the corporation's debt recovery efforts to include the judicial process, non-cooperation of debtors, concealment of assets, irregular documentation by banks and other financial institutions, forgery and alteration of financial records. Kuru further expressed satisfaction with the performance of the EFCC AMCON desk, which he said has led to several recoveries and increase in the number of debtors coming forward to AMCON for a resolution. He added that the importance of the EFCC to the actualization of AMCON's mandate cannot be overstated, as the Commission is one of the few organizations that have the power to request or demand for information. Rolake Odofin-Jolaimi, reporting for the Eagle.
Corruption is a cankerworm, na cankerworm. I say na cankerworm, na cankerworm. Corruption don't finish our country. Nigeria women rise up and come together, oh yeah.
Every woman come out, but we fight corruption together, oh. Every woman fall out, but we kill corruption together, oh.
Them they thief our money, send them obodo yibo. Children they suffer every day, better school in no day. Nigeria women come, oh, women from every sector, make we fight corruption, we won't kill our country. Them go collect money for light, chop the money, light we no see. Good road and good health and call, we no see. I said na cankerworm, oh, na cankerworm, oh.
Join the EFCC in its crusade to rid Nigeria of corruption. Naija, now we all know.
And that's it on today's edition of the program. Please don't forget to send your feedback to us via the Eagle at efccnigeria.org. Like our page on facebook.com/official EFCC or search for us on Google Plus at official EFCC.
You can also follow us on Twitter at official EFCC, and to catch up with all our programs and other activities, please log on to youtube.com/official EFCC. My name is Aisha Muhammad. Good evening.
I am Aisha Gambari, hoping to see you next week.